All right, good evening. I am 1 minute late. Sorry about that. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday live broadcast. Welcome to the PTM Hangout. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All right, so welcome. We love to be on your screen. I love to be on your screen. I love to hang out with you. So this is our Thursday live broadcast. Usually we have this broadcast at 7 p.m. on Sunday. So there's a little announcement. Okay, sorry, on Thursday at 7 p.m. Usually that's when we will have the hangout. Okay, but there's a little adjustment. We're going to make a bit of adjustment to that for some time and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so we'll be having the we'll just click and allow StreamYard. We're using the StreamYard platform, so you can just click and allow StreamYard to give us access to see who is commenting when you comment. Okay, but please, if you are here, let us know you are here. Say something in the comments and let us know where you're joining us from. My name is Maribeth Chima, and I am streaming live from the city of Abuja, Nigeria. So let us know where you are joining us from. Okay, and let us know who you are. It's always exciting to be here. So this is what, hi Becky, it's good to have you. So this is what we're going to do. Rather than have those Thursday sessions alone where we're here for like over an hour or more, okay, so I've looked at what works for us as a group, and I'm thinking this is what we'll do. We will come in here, we're going to have this live session like every day during the week from 5 o'clock for like 20 minutes, max 30 minutes, and we're gone. You can always catch the replay during the course of the week, because I think sometimes when we come and we see like the really long videos, we don't have enough time to stay on and watch them to the end, but we can catch the short videos, so we would start the topic on Thursday and we'll go through that topic during the course of the week from one Thursday to the next Wednesday, and then we jump into a new topic again on Thursday. So let's see how that goes. And at some point, we'll come back and give feedback and see if that's working for us. So I am super excited to be here as usual. And I say, welcome to this live broadcast. Yes, so today, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? We are talking about the reason why you need to order your copy of Mentor Parents. Today is the last day for you to pre-order this amazing parenting manual. If you are that parent that is looking for the most effective way to support your child, if you are that point where if you have reached that point in your parenting where you have identified, you've tried to identify who your child is, what your child is about, okay, and you are already looking at how you can support the child, how you can be your child's number one cheerleader. If you are with me on this, if you're with me on this lane, okay, look for ways to support your children. Now, this book is for you. Okay, in this book, what we have done is we have used stories to tell you story. So we've used stories, right, to give you strategies. Stories to give you strategies that you can try. I say this over and over again. Parenting is it's an endless learning journey. It's a journey where you will keep learning. The moment you tell yourself you have become an authority in parenting, the moment you tell yourself there is nothing to learn, the moment you begin to ask questions like, who is this one trying to tell me how to parent my child? At that moment, you're missing it already. Parenting is a continuous learning journey. And how do you learn? You learn from other people's experiences. You learn from principles. You learn from principles. You learn from other people's experiences. You learn by trying. It is only when you try that you know what works and doesn't work for your child. So yes, this book is full of strategies that you can try. Try them out and see if they don't work for you. Many of them, they've worked for me, not one, not two, but 3 or 4 times. Okay, apart from my 2 biological children, I've had children who have been with me, children, within the whole preteen and teenage. Okay, I have worked with other children, and they come in. In fact, right now I've been working with my niece, and my niece is 18. She's been with me since she turned 16, and I'm using the same principles. This is for someone that was formed before she came to me. She came to me at 16. Okay, I've used the same principles. I've used the same strategies, and I see results already. My niece already has, her mindset is totally changed, and at some point I just step back and I watch her from a distance, and I hug myself afterwards, and I say to myself, it is working. So yes, this is what we have in this book. You want to go through it, you read the stories, you try the strategies and see, and hey, read the one that your child can also read, so that you are both on the same page. You're both on the same page. You're sharing the stories. Okay, you're sharing the stories, the child version of it. You're sharing the stories and all of that, and hey, it will inspire your child. Some of our children are, our children are all amazing. That's the truth. Our children are all amazing. Some of them find their voices early because we help them find their voices. Others don't find their voices. Some of others just need inspiration. They need to see that, okay, the struggles that I'm going through, the experiences that I'm having, the things that I am going through are the same things that the next person is going through. And yes, the next person pulls out of it, or the next person is still, coming out and doing great things, even while they go through the same struggles. So sometimes we want our children to read other people's stories so that they can understand that, what they go through is not unique to them. It is, it's common, okay, and yet they can still do, so much, even in the midst of all the process, right? Even in the midst of the process and in the midst of all that they are going through. All right, so great. So let's jump into what we're talking about today. So we're talking about why your child should teach you. Why should your child teach you? Why should you listen to your child? Or why should you step back and allow your child teach you? I wrote a post earlier today, and I said, you see that child that you are parenting that child for the first time. Okay, for every stage that your child is at, you are parenting that child, or you're parenting that phase for the first time. So yes, you do not have experience. You do not have experience in that area. Hi, Ijoma, it's good to have you. Okay, so you do not have experience in that area. So no, there is no time where you can hit your chest and you can say to yourself, I am a guru. I am a pro in this parenting thing. I do not need nothing from anywhere, anyone, or from this child yet. So at the point your child is 10, you're parenting a boy. If he's a boy, you're parenting a boy who is 10 years old, who has a particular kind of personality, who has a particular personality, okay, and then is at that phase, has a different gift, a particular gift or some particular gift, and is at that phase. Okay, so no, you have not parented. Yes, your first is 18, but he is not Kamsi. Okay, so your first can be 18, but he isn't Kamsi. He doesn't have Kamsi's temperament. He doesn't have Kamsi's personality. He doesn't embody what Kamsi embodies. So you cannot come with your same template and want to use the same template to mold every child, right? So I am parenting Anada, but hey, she is 6. Kamsi was 6 once upon a time, but she isn't Kamsi. She is a girl, first of all. Okay, so she's different, first of all, gender-wise. She is also different. She doesn't want to talk about science from morning to night. She wants to read books and she wants to write books, right? She doesn't want you to keep giving her accolades and all of that. She wants you to keep giving her accolades, and apart from being with her every time. Kamsi doesn't necessarily need you giving him accolades. You don't hail him, just be with him, gist with him, talk with him, and all of that, and he's fine. So you see, you're parenting two different people, no matter how close or how alike they look, even if they were twins or they slept in the same sack. You are still parenting a different person. So at every point, you are a newbie. Newsflash. So in this parenting business, you are a newbie for every phase of your parenting. So the more reason why you should calm down and allow the child to parent you, because it is the child that knows what is within them. It is the child that has that personality. So what do I mean when I say allow the child to teach you? Allow yourself to understand who this child is. So what is this child's personality? Okay, why is Ada different from Kamsi? I need to know that. Why is it that when they have to eat, why does Ada eat this way and Kamsi eats in a different way? When they go into a shop, why does Ada shop this way and Kamsi shops the other way? When I am teaching them, why does Ada why does she tune towards math? Okay, why does she tune towards math and then creative writing and comprehension and all of that? And Kamsi would rather tune towards science and then math, and why are they different? So I need to understand that, and it only takes me stopping to allow the child. It is only through the child that I can know this. It is only by watching and being intentional about trying to figure this out about this particular child. That's the only way I am going to know that. So I would need to know three things, okay? We're going to be looking in this class, we're going to be looking at three different things that we need to look at in trying to identify who a particular child is and how we can learn from that child who the child is, so we know how to support the child based on the child's uniqueness. Okay, so if you go to real standard international schools, okay, if you go to real standard international schools, you see that they have something that they call individualized education plan. Okay, so apart from what you do in the class with all the kids, okay, apart from what you do in the class with all the children, you have an individualized education plan for each of your kids. When you go to like standard education setting or centers, okay, where they are concerned or they're very big about the child's personality or the child's individuality. Okay, in this part of the world, what we do, we fit everybody in the same box and then we teach our children the same way. I mean, in fairness to the schools, I mean, that's what school systems are about. It's not easy for the school to identify our children as individuals. So sometimes what the schools do, they bunch them into groups, okay? They say they do differentiation. And in that differentiation, you want to identify children who happen to have the same strength, right? So you identify children and put them in groups based on their strength. So you have like 2, 3, or 4 groups based on their strength. Most often you have 3 groups based on their strength. So that's how far a lot of schools will come, okay, to attend to their individuality or to attend to the style of your child or how your child learns and all of that, or who your child is. That's how far they can come. But you as a parent can take it a notch higher, right? So as a parent, you can take it a notch higher by identifying your particular child, identifying your particular child. After all, you have just 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 of them. Okay, so yes, if we decide to have 5 children, then we must decide, right? If we decide to have 5 children, then we must decide to give 5 times 5 the time, because hey, it is our responsibility to make sure that each of these children are given full attention and they do not have to suffer because we chose to have 5 of them. They didn't do anything wrong. They did not play a part in the choices that we make as adults, right? So yes, if there are 5 of them, then you need to create time for 5 of them. So if you have 5 kids, stop comparing yourself with a parent that has 1 or 2, or stop throwing a pity party and saying, oh, you guys, you just have 1 and 2 now, you know my own now, I have 4 or 5. No, for every decision that we make as parents, we must rise up to the occasion and take responsibility. Remember, we are mentor parents and our children are learning from us also. So whatever it is that we have, decisions that we have made in life, or whatever it is that our life has thrown at us, we need to rise up to the occasion and take responsibility, right? So yes, you have 5 children, then you need to plan 5 times more. You need to create 5 times more the time. You need to be present 5 times more the time. You need to be intentional 5 times more the time. It is our responsibility, and hey, it's okay, we can do it. God has put so much within us to be able to carry whatever it is that he has blessed us with. So yes, we can do it. So Yes, you want to identify. So yes, the schools may not be able to have individualized education plan for each of your children, but you can have that in your home. You can treat your children as individuals. And how can you treat your children as individuals, or how can you identify the individuality of your children and then use that as a start? I mean, use that in your parenting. So in parenting your children, you want to you want to identify their individuality and put that into cognizance in your parenting. Okay, so how do you do that? Today I said we're going to be looking at this from three different areas. You want to look at their personality, you want to look at their temperament, you want to look at how they learn. Okay, you want to look at how they learn. Okay, so these are the three angles that we're going to be looking at. And in doing all of this, we're going to stop at some point and we're going to talk about executive function. Okay, we're going to talk about executive functioning because, hey, by and large, by the time we talk about executive functioning, you will realize that every decision that our children make every day, everything that our children, everything that our children do, every decision that they make, basically our everyday life, I mean, executive function skills affect everything in our everyday life. Okay, so we'll be looking at that, during the course of the week while we're talking about this topic. All right, so today, before we jump into these different things that make our children different, or why we need to stop and allow our children teach us, how they are different and why they are different. Before we get there, we need to look at how the brain works. So we must stop, first of all, and look at how the brain works so that we identify what's going on in the mind of our children, and then we identify why our children as children, I mean, put them now in a group as children. Why children at a particular age, act the way they act. Okay, so let's look at that. So it all begins, right? It all begins with the prefrontal cortex, right? So the prefrontal cortex is like the most advanced, or it's like the most advanced part of your brain, and it occupies like 3/4 of the frontal part of the brain. Right. Now, when children are born, this part of the brain is not developed. So this part of the brain would develop during the course of life, and it continues. It actually is the slowest part, right, of the brain that develops. So it develops over a period of time, and the experts say it even develops, for some people, it takes up to their mid-20s for the prefrontal cortex to fully develop. And this is the part of the brain that controls social skills and emotional skills, decision making and all of that. So imagine that you're 21-year-old, right? Imagine that your 21-year-old doesn't have the full ability, or doesn't has the capacity, all right, but doesn't have the full ability to make informed decisions. That's how I want you to look at it, because it is the prefrontal frontal cortex. That is where that ability is, and it takes a while for that part of the brain to develop. Okay, so it takes a while for that part of the brain to develop. And now there's a good part, or there's a part to read. That part of the brain is highly influenced by the experiences that our children have. So the growth of the prefrontal cortex is highly influenced by the experiences that our children have. And hey, the highest point where it develops is the point where your children are at that preschool level. So we're saying in retrospect that the point where the part of your child's brain that controls their emotions, that controls their social skills, that controls their reasoning, that part of the brain will take up to about 20. They will grow. It will develop till they are about in their mid-20s, right? Somewhere around 25, 26. But the part, or the point where it develops the most, or the most crucial point, is when they are still preschoolers. So between when your child is born and when your child is about 5 years old, a lot of the things that your child will do, how your child will handle emotions, how your child will handle social skills, how your child will see himself, how confident your child will be, their self-esteem, all of these things are actually things that are developed before your child is even 7 years old. So, yes, at that point, when you are being negligent, at that point that your child is spending all the time with the nanny, at that point where your child is throwing tantrums and all you're doing is beating and yelling, at that point where your child is still all over the place, that is where the child's brain is developing the most. And unfortunately, that's the time that you are not giving the child enough experiences for the child's brain, for the prefrontal cortex to develop maximally. Okay, so when we have issues happen these days, when we see the things we see on social media, when we see the ills that are happening in our society, and then people come in those very funny arguments that I read and I just walk past many times, you hear people debating and they're telling you the parents could have done everything they could do. The parents could have done everything. The parents probably did everything that they did, okay? And who wants spoil goes spoil. It's not exactly correct. It's not exactly correct, dear parents. When you leave the fact that you parented a child for a whole 18 years, and then you go and you want to blame the child's action or inaction on a person that the child has met for just 2 months, 3 months, or a friend that the child has met for just 1, 2 years. You trivialize the 18 years influence you had on that child, and you pack all of it and heap the responsibility on a young 21-year-old or 10, 20-year-old, 18-year-old child, and you say that your whole 18 years was made useless by an 18-year-old who's known your child for just 1 year. Come on, parents. You give this child too much credit. Don't you think so? You give this stranger too much credit. How can you wake up and say to me, you had influence over a person for 18 years and you could not make a point in their life? And then some other person came and had influence on that person for 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. And then you say to me, that person's influence is better than your own. We need to go back to the drawing board and check what we're talking. We need to go back and see, and see this whole attitude that we have, that when the orange or when the fruit is bad, we all want to toss it and run away. But when the fruit is good, we all want to come. It's not just the parents. The parents will claim, the church will claim, the school will claim, the neighbors will claim, the cousins will claim when the fruit is good. Hi, good evening. I can't see your name, but good evening, Facebook user. Welcome. All right. So when the fruit is good, we all want to come and claim allegiance. We all want to come and claim that we have imputed something there. At that point, we don't simply say, oh no, it's not the parents, it is the school. It is, in fact, it is her friend it's that friend that she has for 1 year. That's the friend that made the girl get 9 straight A's. And then she got admission from, 19, how many Ivy League universities. At that point, the parents will take the glory. The church will take the glory. The friends will take the glory. Uncles and aunties, neighbors, everybody is taking glory. But the moment there is something wrong, everybody detaches. Everybody detaches, even without the parents asking us. Some of us will rise up and fight in defense of the parents and say, oh, the parents probably did their best and it is just that friend for 1 year. Our double standards are too much. Okay, the double standards is too much. We need to take responsibility for the fruit that turns out well, as much as we take responsibility for the fruit that turns out bad. So I stand here today and I say to you, parents, for every time that a child turns out right, it is your responsibility. So well done to you. For every time that a child doesn't turn out so great, it is also your responsibility. So well done to you. So the question is, there is fruit time or seed time, and there is harvest time. What are you doing with your seed time? Because as we just learned some minutes ago, the point where your child's social skills, emotional skills are most developed is the period between when they are born and when they are about 5 years old. Yes, so a lot that you have done for your child, a lot that all that the parents did everything for the child. Come and tell me that the parent did everything for the child between when the child was born and the child was 10 years old. That's when you do everything for the child. What happens to us a lot of the times is we don't put the energy, or we do not invest in the seed time between when our children are, some experts will say from 0 to 5, others will say 0 to 7. Let's give ourselves some extra allowance. Let's leave it at 0 to 10. Okay, so that if your child is younger or your child is older than 7, you don't say, oh, the time is gone. No, in fact, the time is never gone. But what we're saying is there is so much that we can do with our children. There's so much we can step down. There's so much that we can influence. There's so much that we can do in their minds. There's so much that we can program between when our children are born and when our children are about 10 years old. These are the things that they are going to use. Okay, these are the things that they are going to hold on to. And these are the things that will come out and play out for them when they face the temptations, or when they face the trial of being preteens and teenagers or young adults. It is what you have invested in the first phase or in the first 10 years of their lives. That's what will come out and play out later. So yes, parents, it's not about the fact that I dropped them in school. I put them in the best of schools. That's not what it is about. It's not about I provide all the clothes. They were always looking good. That's not all that it's about. It's not about every time the children needed anything, I gave it to them. I took them. It's not about that. It is more about how you helped this child, the experiences that you created for this child, how you helped the child to develop their prefrontal cortex, which is the place where emotions are being controlled or emotions are being developed, the place where social skills are being developed, the place where reasoning is being developed. That is where you need to do all the things you do for your children. So if you are a parent and you do not have tools, or you do not know how you can parent or how you can help the child grow in this area, then you should be asking for help. Because many times we feel that all we need to do for our children is pay fees and then all the things that I have mentioned. No. Yes, you will do this. This is what manifests in the physical. They will need to go to school and all of that. What are you doing? What are you doing to personally develop that human being? That's the part that is most important. Okay, so before I run off, let's give you an instance of how you can help your child create experiences and how you help your children develop their prefrontal cortex. All right, so let me start with a 3-year-old. You have a 2-year-old, right? Now, so you have a 2-year-old who, of course, at this point does not know how to regulate. The child doesn't know how to regulate. When the child wants something and the child doesn't get that thing, the child will throw a hard tantrum, the child will throw a tantrum, and then the child will make trouble and all of that. Now, this is because the child's brain does not understand, right, that you get something, sometimes you don't get. The child is still developing. The brain is still there. That part of the brain that controls the child's ability to control that impulse is not fully developed. So yes, when the child is upset, and the child wants to throw himself down, wants to scatter everywhere, wants to hit his head on the ground, wants to scream and shout, the part of the brain that tells the child to calm down and reason is the prefrontal cortex. And that part is not developed. The child does not have it. The child does not know it. And the child is not born with the ability to do these things, but the child has the capacity to do it. Now, this is where you come in. It is how you tend to that child at that point that becomes the experience that the child has, and becomes the skill that the child has to handle that situation in the future. So yes, your child is upset about something, and then what do? You go there and you are like, oh, your child broke a plate. Your child wants something I can't get. It could be any example. I'm fitting any example there. Okay? Now, this child is only 3. The child is 4. The child is not fully developed yet. In fact, the child is just in the initial stage. The prefrontal cortex is just beginning to develop. So you go and you need to take care of that situation. Remember, the child doesn't know how to deal with the situation. The default reaction is to throw a tantrum, scatter everywhere, and all that. That's default. Okay? It is only the ability, that skill, that will come in and change that. So the child naturally is doing what the child is supposed to do. Naturally, parents, the child is doing what the child is supposed to do. Throw a tantrum. Now, you come and then you go, calm down, calm down, calm down, calm down. I need you to calm down. No, I can't listen to you. I need you to calm down first. I will listen to you, but I need you to calm down first. Okay? So the child calms down and you're like, okay, I need you to breathe in and breathe out. When you feel you are ready to talk without screaming, when you feel you're ready to talk and reason with money, then let's talk. I'm going to be here anyway. Or I've just been washing the plate. Okay, honey? When you feel you're ready, let's talk. Now, you will find that the child will calm down and she will say to you, okay, mommy, I'm ready to talk. What you have done, you have just shown the child how to calm down in the face of a storm. You have just told the child that it is okay to be angry. It is okay to be upset. But you are not an animal. You can't keep screaming and you can't keep throwing a tantrum, and you can hurt yourself or hurt another person just because you are upset. So you calm that down, say to the child that you can only be reasoned with, you can only be heard, and you can only be assertive when you are calm. So calm down. So the child calms down and then you talk. And then it's not that you will do that today, you do it tomorrow, you will insist and you will do that every time. And you find that by the time your child is 5 or 6, your child would have lost that tantrum completely. And your child is able to calm down and say to you, Mama, I need to talk to you. Because you have taught the child. They didn't know how, you taught them. Now let's flip the other way. The one that most of us love and we think it is the right thing. So the child begins to throw a tantrum. I need you to keep quiet there. If I come there and meet you, what I will do to you? If you don't shut up, the child is throwing a tantrum, and then you get your cane. Pa, pa, pa. You say you're beating them in love. It's okay. And then you go, pa, 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 pa. Shut up. I say, shut up. I say, shut up. And so the child shuts up. In fear, the child shuts up. You have what you want. You have your environment. Everywhere is calm and everywhere is quiet, isn't it? Everywhere is calm, everywhere is quiet. You feel good. Don't lie to yourself, parents. You feel good afterwards. You feel good. The child feels pain. Okay, the child feels pain. It feels good. And then the prefrontal cortex takes it. When there is, when you are confused, when you're confused about a situation, when you do not know what to do, okay, when you do not know what to do, get angry, yeah, and then if possible, hit the next person. It's going to make you feel better. So this is what the child knows. So this is what the child knows, and we continue. We do it at 3, we do it at 4, we do it at 5, we do it at 10, we do it, we do it, we do it, we do it. And we're sparing, no, we're not sparing the rod. We are doing whatever explanation it is. We're doing what it is. But hey, this is what I just want you. I mean, I'm not talking about what you decide to do. I am talking about what you are teaching or what the child is learning. Okay, you don't even intend to teach. This is what the child is learning. So yes, when he goes to his classroom when he's 5, he's holding a pencil. And then Tunde comes and tries to take that pencil. He's going to turn to Tunde and he will give Tunde a sound slap. This is the only way his brain tells him to react to someone trying to to react to situations. When you're not getting what you want, okay? When you're not getting what you want, this is how to react. And so he grows older, right? Good afternoon, Chidima. It's good to have you. All right, so he grows older, and now he's 10, and he's playing football, and someone steps on him mistakenly, because the first reaction that his brain gives to him, somebody just hurts you, show them, give them. So he turns, and then he punches the next only way he was taught. And mind you, okay, some of us say, oh, you beat them and you go and talk to them. Okay, when you have beaten them, the brain takes that first. That's the first reaction. The talking is the second reaction. The first reaction, that's where that's what the subconscious speaks. So when that situation comes, that's what the subconscious will deliver to the child. Or you punch him, then you can talk later. That's what it is. And so he grows, and he's 21. And then he says, don't touch me. I don't want. Don't touch me. Don't. He picks a knife. He picks a knife and then he stabs. Or he picks a belt and then he whoops. Because this is what he knows. This is how he was trained. When you cannot get what you want, when you are upset, when you cannot get what you want, when you cannot control the situation, you need to hurt someone, and you need to do it very well. You need to be very angry, and you need to do it very well. This is how you deal with people who don't know how to keep quiet or do not know how to stop. So when we come and we say, maybe the parents did everything and the child, no. The parents did everything, and that anger, that aggression is part of everything that the parents did. So no, our journeys are not just what we did when our children were in SS2 and SS3. Our journeys are not just what we did when our children are 20. No, our journeys are not that. The journey began right from when your child was in the cradle. The journey began with how you trained them to react. Remember, the prefrontal cortex is going to control emotions. It's going to control social abilities. It's going to control how your child reasons. It's going to control the decisions that your child makes. That's where your child is going to plan from. That's where your child is going to, that's where executive function is going to be moderated from. So how you train that part of your child's brain when your child is a preschooler is how your child is going to handle situations as your child grows. Thank you very much, parents. If you have not ordered a copy of of Mentor Parents, How to Support Your Child to Find Purpose, today is the day. We have all of this in this book. There is nothing I say here, or there is nothing I have said that you will not find in that book. It is a parenting manual. You are going to buy that book anyway. Why don't you buy it at 4,500 instead of buying it at 6,500 from tomorrow? So pre-order your copy. There's a parent version for you, and there's a child's version for your child. You will be glad that you ordered this book. So thank you very much. All right. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for being here today. All right. So we're going to be doing something. We have an announcement for tomorrow. It's something we're going to be doing during the call. I mean, we're going to do in this July to help our children to develop their executive skill. We're going to do, I mean, how we can prepare our children. We're going to be talking about that tomorrow. All right, so tomorrow, make sure you come in here at 5 p.m. We'll come live at 5 p.m. Today is Thursday. That's why we have stayed as long as 50 minutes. Tomorrow is going to be for 30 minutes tops. Okay, we're going to keep it at between 15 and 30 minutes every day at 5 p.m. Just keep a date with us. Thank you very much for everyone. Thank you who joined us. Thank you, Chidima. Thank you, Becky. Thank you, Joma. Thank you, everyone. When you come, please always call. I mean, always tell us who you are and where you're watching us from, so that we know we've got company. Okay, and we can, we can celebrate you also. So thank you very much for joining me. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your parenting journey. Thank you for all those who have pre-ordered Mentor Parents and Baby Steps. Thank you for trusting us. Thank you for trusting us and even releasing your funds to us even before we deliver the product. I mean, we do not take it for granted that you trust us this much, and we do not take it for granted that you open your doors and allow us come and be a part of your parenting journey. Have a lovely, lovely evening and beginning of the weekend, right? Tomorrow is Friday. Thank you very much. Have a lovely evening. My name is Maribeth Chima, and I'm signing out. Bye. Let us know if you got value, please. Let us know. And if you have any questions, just put them in the comments. Let us know if you are catching the replay. Have a lovely evening again. Bye.